Hi, so we are going to start talking about area now. Now, perimeter was pretty much the same for almost every shape with the exception of circles, but area differs from shape to shape. So again, don't look at my drawings because I'm a horrible drawer, but I hope you can get the concept. So for the area, this is a square. For the area of a square, this is going to be side squared. So let's say that on this square, your side is worth 5. Okay, it's 5 centimeters, 5 inches, whatever it is. Okay, so to solve this, you would say area equals 5 squared because your S is one side. Sorry, your S is one side and your one side is worth 5. So this would be 25 because 5 squared is 5 times 5, and that is 25. Okay, so for square, that's how you would use this particular formula for area of a square. Now let's move over to the rectangle. Now the rectangle's area is length times width. Okay, so you would have values assigned to your length times width. So let's say that your length was 10 and your width was 5. So you would have 5, let me do it the correct way, length times width, 10 times 5, and that would give you an area of 50 for this rectangle. Okay, because your length of 10 times your 5, your width times your 5. Okay, so now let's get into some different shapes. Okay, this is a parallelogram. And this formula for parallelogram will be A equals B times H. So you would have a value for your base, and let's just say that the value for your base is going to be 10. And let's say that your height will be 7. Okay, so we are going to do A equals our base, which is 10, times our height, which is 7. So our area is 70. Okay, so the area of that one would be 70. Okay, so that's one of the different shapes. Let's look at a triangle. Now, you might need a calculator with this, and if you use your calculator, if you're doing a GED, that is completely acceptable and encouraged to use your calculator for GED. Okay, so this is going to be half. We already know that the half is not going to change because that's the same. And then our base, let's say that our base is going to be 5, and let's say that our height is going to be 10. Okay, so we're going to plug our base in there into our equation here. Okay, so A equals half times, because whenever you have a number right next to a variable or two variables right next to each other, that just means multiplication. You can just plug a little dot right in here, and that reminds you to multiply those. So our base is going to be 5, and then we're going to multiply it times 10, which is our height. And if we put this into the calculator, we get 1/2 times 5 times 10, and that's going to give us 25. So 25 would be our area of our triangle. Okay, now just like we did this over here, we're going to do the same thing with this half that we did in the last one. Okay, so let's make this base 5. Let's make this one 7, and let's make our height also 5. Okay, we have base 1 and base 2. Okay, now note that that's in our equation. So let's translate this equation. We have 1/2, which doesn't change. Let me separate this from the other one, okay? We have 1/2 that doesn't change. And then we have our H. Our H is 5. And we're going to multiply this, okay? And here we have base 1, which is 5, plus base 2, which is 7, okay? Okay, so now we have 1/2 times 5, parenthesis 5 plus 7, because this is our base 1 and our base 2. Now, if you plug this into your calculator exactly like this, 1/2 times 5, and then parenthesis 5 plus 7, close parenthesis, you get 30. Okay. Once again, on geometry or anything involving any type of mathematical other than your general, you should be using your calculator to figure out these general numbers. You can't obviously use them for the formula, but something like this is perfectly acceptable and encouraged to put into your calculator to solve these problems. Okay, you're trying to pass the GED test, so that means you want to get as many of them as you possibly can correct, but you're under a time crunch. So you want to make sure that you're doing that math correctly when you're already nervous. Okay. So our area here would be 30. Okay. Now this describes the area for a few of our different shapes, but we're going to get into circles next, and then we'll do some more specific work on triangles as well. So I hope this helps.